Hey, what's up, Jacob?
Yo, there he is. What's happening?
Not much. Just got home from work not too long ago. Relaxed until I got to head downtown, sign up for mics, stuff like that. How about you?
Fucking exciting. Well, I want to do the interview before I do the see, I think I might need to mute this here. Okay. So I'll just chop this up and do this on my live stream. So I'll do the interview now and before we catch up, that way it'll kind of be more like the interview is the catch up, it kind of flows. And so
Awesome.
I'm gonna introduce you, and then I'm gonna ask you a get to know you question that I ask all my interviews.
All right.
So I want to let everybody know we're talking to Toasted Ramen, also known as Frank C Trandicosta. He's a comedian. He's hilarious. I met him down at the jukebox in Peoria. He's traveled. He's performed. He's now in Austin, Texas, and he recently performed on Kill Tony. But before we talk about any of that, we've got to ask him a get to know you question that we ask all our interviews. Frank, if you won the lottery and you went for pizza, what would be your lottery pizza?
My lottery pizza. Oh my goodness. I'm getting all the meats. I'm pretending it's June, getting all of it. All the sausage, spicy sausage, pepperoni, all of it. That's me.
Okay.
That's pretty, not too picky. I'm actually very picky, but yeah.
So instead of like a four meat cheese, you're looking for like a 13 or maybe a 19 meat lovers and cheese pizza. We can get some,
Absolutely.
we can get we can get that, oh, what is that? Chopped ham. And then you could get
Mm.
like some lobster on there and maybe some shrimp scampi.
Some scampi.
Just getting creative. It's a delicious pizza. So all right, that kind of, everybody attacks that question differently. And so it's kind of a get to know you type of a question. So next question, you're a comedian, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Done with that. No. Actually I wanted to say what got you into comedy?
Well, I grew up in a household where like humor was very celebrated. Not necessarily comedy, but like just funny, being funny. And I loved stand up from a very young age. I think the first time I ever really saw like stand up was like at a sleepover. My friend brought a bootleg copy of Kevin Hart's Laugh at My Pain, and that really like hooked me in really fast. So I love I love laughing. I love making people laugh. So that's the biggest reason. I want to be liked. I'm very insecure.
Okay, so I see, Kevin Hart on stage and I say he's telling jokes and then I laugh at him and I'm like, I'm a consumer of comedy. My entry into comedy is a little bit backwards. I started out consuming, right? And if you're consuming it, at what point seeing Kevin up on stage and telling jokes were you like, I want to do that too?
Well, it really started because after I saw that special, and it's a very quotable special,
Mhm.
I would reiterate the jokes to my friends at school, and I was only like 11 or 12 maybe, so I shouldn't have been saying half of it. But the reaction it elicited was very was striking. Um, I mean, like I always was able to kind of get people to like laugh, but it was really engaging in that form of conversation, I guess. And the more I got into comedy, like I remember back in the day, I don't know if you remember on cable, they had like the premium channels, and you had the if you paid for the package, you had like movies and comedy and stuff. And that's when I started getting more into comedy. And after I started seeing like Jesselnick and Tosh more on like a mainstream platform, I started getting really interested in like the art form of comedy, not just the like, oh, I'm gonna watch this special.
Sure, sure, actually being a part of it. Because you're right, I mean HBO and Cinemax were always pay channels, but like back in the day, Cartoon Network was pay. And even
Oh
before
yeah,
that, Comedy Central was a pay channel.
Yeah, and they always had good stuff on like Comedy Central, and then on HBO they had Premium Blend and everything. So a lot of different styles of comedy, clean and not so clean, pouring into my life.
Sure, sure. And I met you down at the jukebox in Peoria, and I mean, that's a good distance for me, but it worked with my schedule to drive down there. I got to know you guys, and I got to see you perform down there, which was a treat.
Oh,
And
thank you.
then you just up and disappeared,
Yeah.
which like you actually you didn't disappear. You threw a party, and my car wasn't working right then, and so I couldn't make it. And so I'm kind of like I shouldn't bring it up because I missed your going away party, man. But
Oh yeah, no worries.
it was a big. And so what made you head out? Like is there like more opportunities in comedy?
Yes and no. So I moved to Austin because I believe that this is a very special time for comedy, and there's a pendulum that'll swing back the other way where comedy won't be so popular anymore. But I remember hearing on a podcast Ari Shafir saying, right now comedy's great to be in because it's kind of like quote unquote like dangerous again. It's kind of like the bad boy thing again, and it's like a very special time. And Austin's a very special place because you have all these big names in comedy flooding in and providing a lot of opportunities. So there's mics basically every night here, uh, and mics
Wow.
in the plural, the sense like not like two or three places you can hit up, but there's usually going to be like at least anywhere from 5 to 10 mics you can hit up. And granted, the time's shorter. You know, you're not going to be like a jukebox where you're very blessed in the jukebox specifically because you get 2 5-minute spots, show up, go up every week if you want.
Right.
Here, it's a lot of lottery. It's a lot of getting bumped, which is fine. That's part of the process. But yeah, no, I moved out here because I wanted to be in a place where not only there was a lot of opportunity, but I had gotten to a point in Peoria where I was like comfortable and I
Yeah.
was able to go to the box and perform on the weekends. Basically, probably 80% of the time, if I wanted to, I could go up unless it was some huge show. And I got to a point where I was comfortable in my writing and I was comfortable in my proficiency, quote unquote, because I'm by no means some savant or great, but I felt like I needed to be in a place where I was challenged to improve. And I think this was definitely the right choice because it's very competitive. Um, it's a very different style of comedy because you have less time, so you have to be punchier. You have to be working with the crowd in the sense of I'm going to make you guys laugh as much as I can in as short amount of time as I can, which is it's helped in my writing in a sense of you know tags and consistency. Uh, that's basically the main reason. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but that's basically
No,
the
no,
main reason.
I'm soaking it all up because uh like around here you were talking about the pendulum swinging, and it kind of is swinging back because are you familiar with JT Cage? Julian.
No,
Oh, he's been a host of a lot of open mics, and he's a really good kid. He's
JT from the Quad Cities.
yeah.
Okay, no, never mind. I do know him. I feel bad now, but yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
he's the world's youngest Vietnam War veteran, is what
Yeah,
we call him. So shout out to him and his root beer jokes. And so him and Veronica Memoir were hosting a weekly open mic at the Village Theater, but then a bunch of drama happened and the Village Theater closed down. So we lost all four of those mics, and we've got the Broken Saddle, which is twice a month. It's a bar mic, so it's rough.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then we've got the Speakeasy, which is a great mic. It's on a Friday, but you got to show up an hour early, and I'm still like number 5 on the list. And
yeah.
it's
I've heard a lot
so.
of great things about Speakeasy.
Oh, have you ever been to the Speakeasy? It's
That was a mic I definitely wanted and tried to hit a couple times, just because it was so far and my work schedule. Because I don't know if you remember, but
mm,
back in Peoria for most of my time, I was managing a strip club, and Fridays are busier nights, And then when I
Right.
left the strip club, I went and managed a bar, and Fridays are also busier nights. So it wasn't until the tail end of my tenure in Peoria that I was really out on the weekends doing comedy.
Sure,
But yeah,
sure.
no, I've heard fantastic things about the Speakeasy, the Circa 21. And I saw there was a competition there. My friend Tom won it, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Tom Totleben, great
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And Jacob Baked was on it. So yeah, no, Speakeasy really good. It just sucks it's not more frequent.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, JT mentioned, I wanted to bring that up. He mentioned that, when we have like regular mics where people can do 5, 7 minutes and there's only two audience members because it's on a Tuesday, then people don't really try very hard. Whereas the speakeasy, since it's on a Friday, there's a real audience of like 50 to 100 people. And
Yeah,
there's a lot of comics coming to sign up, so you got to bring your best material in. And so
yeah,
that kind of it makes me think about what you were saying about Austin being a little more competitive, and so it pushes you to
definitely.
to work a little harder.
Yeah, it definitely. One thing I will say for sure, there's a leg up in Austin versus any smaller scene. Is it weeds out a lot of people. It lets you know whether or not you really want it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
people that'll come out and it'll be their first time at a mic, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get on Kill Tony and I'm gonna be famous and blah blah blah." And then they get on Kill Tony and then they get a little book and they quit immediately. And I'm like,
Mm.
"You've been doing comedy for 3 months. You know what do you think was gonna happen? You gotta." But now I'm guessing you want to get back up there and kill it next time. And they're like, nah, like I just wanted to try it. And there's not a lot of stuff like that up in the Midwest. It's a lot of people are like it's comfortable there. You know what I mean?
It is, yeah. So that kind of goes back to what Julian was saying and why he was saying it. Since the Village Theater went away, we've been looking at, venues to try and bring more mics or open mics around. And I'm at a point where, I mean, I could do a little bit of driving, but I think instead I kind of like the Kill Tony idea of doing like a gong show with an interview. It's an open mic, but here's what I want to do is live stream it. And that way we
Yeah,
can get like two live streams, and one will be or one two open mics. One will be just an open mic where people can go and offload and practice all their material. And then the other one will be the live stream where they can bring their best, minute or two. And so I'm kind of trying to set that up because like I like the whole Kill Tony presentation, and it gives you a chance to get to know the comics. But from what I've heard, it's like really hard to get on there because there's like a couple hundred people signing up. Is that right?
yeah. So and that is the case, by the way, for a lot of the mics here, is they can be difficult to get onto because a lot of them are either lottery or they're run by people, and if you know them, you'll get bumped onto the list, and if they don't know you, you might get bumped off the list or bumped way down the list, so you're there till 3 in the morning.
Uh,
Um, but with Kill Tony specifically, it's a lottery mic, and it's held at like the signups are across the street, and some people obviously sign up from inside the mothership, but every time you go there, there's going to be 150, 200, sometimes 300 people signing up for a minute spot in an interview and it's usually 5 people. So the odds, not super great, but yeah, no, there is a lot of people that sign up.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, if I was to go down there and sign up, just, not move down there, but just fly down there and sign up, how many times would I have to fly down there and sign up, and how much would it cost? And what if I just rolled that into advertising, not necessarily my comedy? Because like you were saying about being comfortable. When you met me, my goal was to go to the jukebox, record a different 5 minutes until I had 45 minutes. After I did that, I didn't know what to do with my comedy goals. And so now I'm like, all right, maybe I can help other comics by, doing this live stream mic or something like that.
Mhm.
And it kind of goes back to like you went to Austin, you're like motivated, and I'm like I'm inspired by that. So I
Thank you.
guess kind of my last question, or kind of a big question, is like what kind of inspires you, and what kind of advice do you have to inspire new comedians?
Well, I will preface my advice by saying I am basically still a new comedian. Like, I'm 3 years in. I'm nobody. So take my advice or leave it. I know I don't always love when comics give me advice. But the number one thing that really keeps me motivated is you really just have to love comedy. And usually people will know from the second they do it whether or not they're in love with comedy. Because if you can't give yourself and give everything to the art form won't give anything to you. And you shouldn't be going at it from the expectation of you're trying to get something from the art form. You should be going at it from the aspect of I'm trying to give myself uh, to this thing that I love. Just like you would in a relationship, you don't get in a relationship for what the other person can do for you. You get in a relationship for what you can do for the other person and how much you care about them and what you can get together out of that. Because at the end of the day, the way I've recently started looking at comedy, and my friend Isaac, who's also from the jukebox, gave me a real good I wouldn't even say advice, just a good way to think of comedy is when you're on stage and you're in a packed room, it's not you talking to an audience of 100 people, let's say. It's you talking to the audience as if the audience was another person singular, and you're just having a conversation. And unless you love love comedy enough to bomb frequently, and I bomb my fair share,
Yeah,
especially
yep.
with some of my material. And you love comedy enough to risk everything. Because I love Austin. I love it so much, and I love Texas, and I love the comedy scene down here, and I love the opportunities it's given me. But I sacrifice time with my daughter. I can't see my daughter nearly as frequently, and that's very hard.
Mm.
But the sacrifice is, hopefully through giving myself to this art form, I can provide a better life in the future for her than I ever had or could give her at home working, at a restaurant for the rest of my life because I have no college education. I don't have anything.
That's beautiful,
So,
Frank. That's
yeah.
that's that's fantastic advice. I mean, that's definitely a clip. I will keep you posted about the open mic stream and how that goes. You posted a book about Kill Tony. Are people going to be able to catch you on that? Should we be looking out for something? Where can
Yes,
people
sir.
find you?
So what I didn't realize when I got here, and apparently a lot of people don't know, is while it is a live streamed podcast, it is filmed a few weeks in advance.
Okay.
Um, so the best way I can advertise it, uh, and I don't know, like if it's a big spoiler saying who the guest is going to be to look out for that guest. He was on the Rogan podcast, so I would assume people would guess that he would be. But Jordan Peterson was the big guest on the Kill Tony episode I was on. I will warn you, my material didn't do fantastic. I was very very nervous. I probably didn't choose the best jokes that would have been conducive for a minute.
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
you, you've seen some of my comedy. Some of my jokes are a little bit longer. But my interview did well enough. I got a big book, so that's
Awesome.
all that mattered to me. But yeah, no. So it should be out either next week or the week after. I think it's about 3 weeks behind. So yeah, if you want to check out that Kill Tony clip, it should be out in the next couple of weeks.
That's fantastic. I'll keep an eye out, and I'm going to post in the chats your links. Anything else you want to promote?
Yeah. Do you mind if I bring someone on really quick?
Absolutely.
Embryo, Jay Dizzle. I would like to introduce you to someone very, very special. He is my roommate, but also one of my biggest collaborators. We are working on a project right now. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Embery Johnson. I'm Frank's landlord currently.
He's also a nominated actor. He was in a film called The Prodigy, 2018.
Nominated at the International Christian Film Festival. Film and Music Festival in 2018. That's my claim to fame.
And and he's running against Ray Liotta, so obviously it's not just like anything crazy, but like
a little bit of competition, but
it's really good. It's pretty prestigious. But we're currently working on some, we'll just call it sketches for now. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say and not allowed to say to a bunch of people, but
as much as you want to promote. I have a vast array of about 10 concurrent viewers and possibly about 200 views on this interview.
Awesome. Yeah.
Actually, the plan is to air this on my new comedy channel, which is going to be the promoted channel for the streams, and then I'm going to also air it on my next Gemstone live stream, which is where I'll get the views and you'll actually get a viewer or two. So, do you have a YouTube to promote? Instagram?
I got my Instagram's just Embery Johnson, Embry Johnson. I'm not super active on there. I need to post more.
Johnson.
That's all of us. I gotta be more active with my posts and clips and all that. Mostly this is fun, and the viewers that come by are organic. They're people that I've talked to, people around the globe, people that buy my gemstone plant food, and people that I've gotten to know, because my gem channel is kind of a positive place. That's why I started writing such corny jokes to begin with. Frank, I have actually gotten some bluer material as I perform in bars. So if he's told you anything about me, you can find my corny jokes on Facebook at Jacob Downey Jr. But if you come out to a bar show, you can see me perform some stuff about, being like a mayonnaise pump and similar dating material. So I appreciate the interview. I don't want to keep you any longer because I want you to get to kill Tony, and I want you to keep me posted on the progress of that. And I will let you know when this airs, and I'll shoot you the links.
Awesome, man. It was great to catch up. I'm glad we got to talk a little bit more and see each other again. It's been a while, so
absolutely,
even
man.
Though you didn't come to my party, but
oh man, I feel so bad. Yeah, no, and then when you come back, let me know, because I've been producing some shows up here, so I'll get you a spot. That would be fantastic.
Definitely, yeah. I should be in town sometime next month. The 11th is my daughter's birthday, so I should be in town the Monday or Tuesday before, and then until like the Saturday or Sunday after.
Awesome. I'll plan for something, man, because I'm trying to get that stream going. So I'll keep you posted, and I'll plan for something next month.
Awesome. Swag money.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. Have a great rest of your day.
And that is an interview with Frank Trandicosta and Embery Johnson. Johnston? Did I get that right? I gotta make sure I get that right. That was cool. Because, I mean, Frank just did the Kill Tony thing, and I was like, now is like the perfect time to interview him and talk about that, because it's going to be coming out soon. And so there's a little bit of intrigue, and now we have an insight into knowing what to look out for. Watch out for duck when it comes undercover. Man, I missed an opportunity. I did, though. I'm more of a nice interviewer, not really a comedic interviewer yet, which is kind of part of the idea of doing the interviews, is to become a little more familiar with how to interview. I brought on that dude, and special guest, Embery, and I was like, he said he's his landlord, and I should have said, oh, so you're the top or the bottom. I really don't know how that works. I do it on my side because I'm lazy. And like I said, I spend most of the interview trying to make sure everything's working and fill silence. And make sure that I let them talk and I'm not talking at the person I'm interviewing. Because you're supposed to, ask a question and then shut your face. Let Frank talk. Otherwise, we won't get to know him. Good old working on interviews. Welcome to the growing channel. I think that's pretty much all I got for the first live stream. And first interview for this channel. Gonna upload some of the interviews from the Gem channel with comedians on this channel. It's kind of interesting to think. The early idea was to have a variety of people to interview, but like inventors mostly. But then I started doing more and more comedy, and I know so many comedians, and they're eager for stage time and to talk, and I share that sentiment. So I welcome them, and I welcome you to leave a comment down below. Let me know if you're interested in talking about comedy. And thank you for coming by. I hope we can all catch Frank C Trandicosta on Instagram at Toasted Ramen, on Facebook at Frank T756, and on his YouTube channel, as well as on the upcoming episode of Kill Tony. Cheers, y'all, and have a